Rolling Stone talking about Continuum. In 2006, September 11th, 2006, Anthony DeCurtis. So we see 4 stars. You can only see 1 on the screen there, but trust me, there are 4. Let's read this. Who did you think I was? John Mayer asked on the opening track of Try. That's a John Mayer trio record. He's answered the question eloquently on Continuum, the smart, breezy album that deftly fuses his love for old school blues and R&B with his natural gift for sharp melodies and well-constructed songs. Accurate, I think. I find it interesting. We're going back, we have almost 20 years of history looking back on this from our perspective now. But if you think about it at the time, people just in general are still figuring out what John Mayer is capable of. They still have Daughters, Your Body's in Wonderland stuck in their heads and in their minds, and great songs, great singer-songwriter, acoustic-based material. But Try comes out, and you've got all of a sudden this fiery blues guitar player, which if you were paying attention at the time, you already knew that was there if you were paying attention, because he wasn't hiding it by any means. But if you were just a casual viewer, listener, maybe Rolling Stone reader, you might not know that. So with this album, the 28 years old, Mayer displays a new command of all his musical sources. The Memphis soul touches that seemed like a genre exercise on heavier things, Come Back to Bed, from 2003, achieve full flower here. I would say yes on that. Come Back to Bed stands out on heavier things as the first recorded instance of a bluesy song that is good, but it's really a vehicle for a live guitar solo. Honestly, if you saw him on any of those tours with heavier things, that was like one of the moments where he got to really just rip on the guitar. So I think that's kind of what they're saying here. The role of blue-eyed soul singer suits Mayer. His falsetto choruses on Vultures are sexy and assured. His breathy vocals are firmly at the album's center, and the R&B tradition he's mining lends weight to his pop flourishes. As for the vulnerability and open-heartedness soul music encourages, well, that's part of what all those young female fans loved about Mayer in the first place. How nice. Let's see here. What else do we have? Rolling Stone. Okay. Last time around, Mayer submerged himself in a trio with older established players like bassist Pino Palladino and drummer Steve Jordan, and indulged the guitar hero fantasies he'd nurtured during his teen years, spent listening to Cream, Jimi Hendrix, and Stevie Ray Vaughan. I feel like older established players is kind of underselling who Pino Palladino and Steve Jordan were, even in 2006. Let alone what they've accomplished since then. So keep up, Rolling Stone. Come on. It was a way of shedding the heartthrob mantle that hits like Your Body is a Wonderland, Daughters, like I said. I should have wrote this article. Had put on his shoulders. Room for Squares, his 2001 debut, had sold more than 4 million copies. Heavier Things sold 2 million, but Mayer saw his success as a life sentence to pop idoldom. Yeah. He desperately wanted out. Yeah, I think so. Try and the John Mayer trio record definitely helped him do that. I do think he was probably one more kind of soft hit away from cementing a place, regardless of how incredible his blues guitar playing and inspired music would be, which is why he didn't put Over and Over, I think, on Continuum. If you don't know what Over and Over is, go look that up. It's a song by John Mayer that did not get released around this time. Palladino and Jordan, who co-produced Continuum with Mayer, are on hand, but this is decidedly not a John Mayer trio record. Other notable musicians turn up, including guitarists like Ben Harper, Charlie Hunter, James Valentine from Maroon 5, Roy Hargrove, and bassist Willie Weeks. The power trio flexing is gone, and that's to the good. I don't think it's actually gone, because he covers Bold as Love. Gravity is essentially a trio song. Vultures is essentially a trio song. I Don't Trust Myself with Loving You is essentially a trio song. So that's kind of a BS statement. And also, flexing if you means just guitar solos, but it's a record versus a live record. Come on. As a guitarist, Mayer is more adept at the terse, lyrical, cleanly articulated solos he takes on songs like In Repair, Gravity, which along with Vultures also appeared on Try, than the breakneck improvising he flashed with JMT. I guess, but I mean, go listen to Wait Until Tomorrow on Try, that second solo, and tell me that that is not someone on a different plane. He is not just flashily shredding for the sake of flashily shredding. I mean, that is some pretty tasteful, fast, very note heavy, playing, but I think he is equally at home playing the lyrical lines on guitar that we can all sing. So disagree with you there on that, Rolling Stone. Sorry. None of Continuum's 12 tracks accelerates above mid-tempo, and the predominant tone is modest and reflective. Though the album occasionally refers to big issues, Waiting on the World to Change, the opening track and first single, is a moving Appalachian. I don't know that word. Apologia. Come on, man. You don't need to use that word. That's just you want to talk about what did he say about Mayer's playing? Let's see here. The breakneck improvising he flashed with JMT. Using a word like apologia in a Rolling Stone article is the equivalent of what you're accusing Mayer of doing with John Mayer Trio, my friend. As I criticize you 20 years later after you wrote this article. It's not that we don't care. We just know that the fight ain't fair. We know all those lyrics. Anti-war sentiments and a sharp media critique. Sure. The songs, blah, 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 blah. Cool social observation of belief, as well as its delicate opening guitar figure. Enchanting harmonies of its bridge. Recall Sting, another of Mayer's idols. This guy's not a guitar player. I can tell you that much. I would not call the opening to Belief, even on the record, a delicate guitar figure. No, a delicate guitar figure would be like Gravity, I would say. Damaged relationships, litter Continuum. We haven't even gotten to battle studies. We're talking about a whole album of damaged relationships. I don't trust myself, loving you, slow dancing in a burning room, heart of life, dreaming with a broken heart, and I'm going to find another you. All depict lovers who betray each other and occasionally themselves. Ever self-conscious, even obsessive about his place in the world, Mayer takes his own emotional temperature on Stop This Train. So scared of getting older, I'm only good at being young. Forget Who Did You Think I Was? Mayer detractors will likely be thinking, who do you think you are? When they hear this capable cover of Hendrix' Bold as Love. No matter. Mayer is right not to worry about pleasing or offending them. Continuum is just the current stage in Mayer's trip, but he has taken a big step toward finding himself as he sings on in Repair. I'm never really ready. I'm not together, but I'm getting there. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, 2020 is hindsight. We have the benefit of looking back at Continuum as it fits in Mayer's body of work today. And much like I've said with Born and Raised, it took me a while to get to a point where I could really, truly appreciate Born and Raised. And I think Continuum was more appreciated right off the bat than Born and Raised. But I don't know. I mean, I just think some it's got to be tough to write an article like this, so I don't want to go too hard. But I think there are some missteps in how it was characterized and what was being heard. I mean, Stop This Train for the writer to focus on the line, so scared of getting older, I'm only good at being young. I mean, it's a profound, really cool line. I just think there's a lot more in that song to latch onto than that. That's my opinion, though. What do you think about that article? I'm going to link it in the description below. I read it to you, but you can take a look at it and just see. I think it's kind of cool to go back and see what, some of our favorite art, how it was received at the time. Do it with music, do it with movies. It's really funny because, sometimes these reviews are right. And honestly, I think this one is mostly right. He's catching Continuum and recognizing it as a massive turning point in Mayer's career. But I mean, there's just a couple little details that I take issue with. But it's cool to see something like a review of Continuum really kind of hold up. Again, I disagree with a few things, but also, I'm sure we could go back and find some reviews of some of Mayer's work that don't age well because we look back now and we're like, oh man, come on. I bet you there's something out there that someone did a review of Born and Raised. and probably was hypercritical because it was so different than what they were used to from John Mayer. I'm sure that exists. Or like one of the first reviews of him for Squares. I'm sure somebody out there was, just calling him, oh, he's the next Dave Matthews, but fails at that, or something like along those lines. So that's why reviews are, taken with a grain of salt, because they only mean so much. And it's interesting to see how they age.